Hey everyone, Stephen Sutter here. Happy Easter weekend. Wanted to put a video together, money mindset. It isn't always about money, but the course of direction is to create more opportunities for you to make more money or to expand what you have and grow your money. So every day you wake up and you go through this routine, you wake up with a set of skills that either you have had since you were born or that you've acquired over time. Just understand that as you've gone on, other people you deal with have the same issue. They have skills that they've had and they've had skills that they've acquired, but not all your skills are the same, and not all the skills are this. Everybody has the same number of the same skills. Why do I say that? Because a lot of times when you get into a transaction, or you're building something, or you're going around and you're trying to improve yourself, you're going to get in conversations. You're going to hear different things that you have never heard before, that you could say, I could apply that to my life. Others are going to say same things about you. Why is that critical? Because at the end of the day, when you measure yourself against others, you have to understand where they've come from and where you have come from. And maybe you guys have come from entirely two different perspectives, where one had a leg up on you, or two, maybe you had a leg up on them. Either way, the, the, the playing field was never level. The playing field was fair, but it was never level. It's never going to be the same. And I'll dive into politics a little bit. One side of the aisle believes in equity, inclusion, all that stuff. There is none of that in real life, man. The reason why I say that is because we're all humans and we're all different. We all have different personalities. We have different ways we talk. We have different ways we think. I've been accused of not being normal for a long time, and I'm intense. Um, I talk. Sometimes I talk. I can go on and on, very social, but I'm also an introvert. Um, I have a weird way of looking at things. My sense of humor isn't always on. Sometimes it is, sometimes not. I do struggle sometimes. Uh, but I've followed a few people. One of them is Grant Cardone, and first time I heard him was in 2014. Kind of gave me the permission that it was okay to be that way. Before, I always kind of fought it, never really accepted it. And in the circles I ran with, and in the people I met, and the transactions I did, and the things I was building, I realized there was something different about me. Um, so there's always the crowd, and then there's like little like onesie twosies here and there, and I was always one of the onesie twosies. It doesn't mean I was a bad guy. Wasn't a bad guy. I liked everybody. Everybody liked me. It just wasn't my thought processes, and the way I approached things wasn't the mainstream. And so if you're like that, you have to understand that's okay. So as you're going through this thing of building your life, and you got this vision in your head, and you have dollar signs around it, or whatever you want, whatever you've got, just understand that you bring so much to the table, and sometimes you have to grow bigger mentally, more skills to acquire the things that you want based on the vision that you have for yourself. And that's part of the process. That's part of the whole thing of growing, getting better. And some people don't have to work as hard. Some people do. I found out when I was younger, because of my experiences and things I had gone through, I wasn't mature enough to understand what the hell I was doing. I really wasn't. And it didn't take me until probably college where I started to realize I have to work harder than the average person, because I don't have a lot of these skills already inherently built in me. Once I realized that, I started digging and I started working hard. Things started changing bad. And when I set concrete goals, like for things that I wanted. For example, I wanted to be an officer in the Air Force. I came close a couple of times, but because of the world I live in, it was really tough, and I wasn't accepted in the Guard anyway. So then my next goal was, if I can't become an officer, I'm going to become a chief. What does I need to be a chief? So I got a couple of people that I was close to, that I looked up to, had a meeting with them, went to lunch with them, and talked about what that is and what that does. And they kind of gave me a blueprint: public speaking, problem solving, hours don't matter, it's supporting your boss, being honest, having somebody's backside when nobody else does, doing the right thing, taking care of your people. So I started diving into more of those things, and I started seeing my career started progressing quicker, and I started getting there, and I finally achieved chief in the Air National Guard, Air Force. I say that because if you understand what you want and you understand where you're at and you know there's gaps, it's easy to identify the gap once you get there, and then you can fill that gap with information or knowledge or skills because you know what you're missing. The hardest part is doing this is not understanding what your gaps are, what you're missing, and struggling every day to achieve something that you're not strong. Your weaknesses are hurting you because you haven't turned them into a strength. So long story short, we all come to the table with different skills, different levels of skills. Some have more, some have less. Your job is to identify your position to achieve your goals is to identify what skills do I not have to accomplish the goals that I want to achieve, including the lifestyle I want to live, the family that I want, and how do I go about that and where are they? So sometimes it's going to school, sometimes it's book reading, mentoring, uh, uh, just talking out loud to people that are in the same business line that you are. Uh, Maybe people that are successful outside your business to kind of get a different perspective on what they did. Those kinds of things. So, without further ado, I wanted to reach out, let you know that it's not just about making money, it's about developing yourself to get you to your goals. And hopefully, if you work hard enough, which I think you will, then you'll start seeing good things happen in your direction that give you hope that you're on the right track. Thanks for watching. Happy Easter. Appreciate you. Please subscribe, share, comment. If you disagree, that's fine. If you agree, great. Ideas, perfect. Until next time, happy Easter.